Hey there, Jeff here, and today we're talking about how to finally go from watching and studying content to actually taking action on creating it so you can get your brand and business in front of the people that need to know about you.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You know you could.
What's up, Jeff here, coming to you from my home in Las Vegas, Nevada. So you may have heard the old saying that content is king, and that's never been more true than it is today. Now, it may sound totally obvious, but the internet is made up of content in the form of videos, articles, images, audio, etc. And the best way to get your business or brand out there is to create a steady stream of that content so people can get to know, like, and trust you and ultimately turn into clients and customers. But one big trap that many of us fall into is consuming way more content than we create. I know I'm certainly guilty of that myself. And we often find ourselves spending more time than we should on things like videos, courses, books, and webinars and articles, thinking we're investing in ourselves when all we're really doing is wasting time and resources consuming other people's content instead of rolling up our sleeves and actually putting in the work ourselves. Now, how many days, weeks, months, or years have you sacrificed on research, getting ready to record that perfect video or podcast, write that perfect blog, or design that perfect website or funnel, when in reality all you're really doing is procrastinating, pushing the goal even farther away while others are releasing less than perfect content and getting results? Now, that's not to say you shouldn't look at what others in your field are doing. You definitely want to keep your finger on the pulse of your industry. And while there's a lot of great stuff out there for sure, that's even more of a reason to add your voice to the mix. Now, you may be thinking there are already people out there with huge audiences talking about the same things I do, and there may very well be, but keep in mind there are far more consumers than creators out there. Even though we may be building our brands through the kind of content that we see from our contemporaries, the vast majority of people out there are consumers of that content, which means there's enough room for everyone. Just think about this. How many personal trainers, sales coaches, and success gurus are out there right now? Far too many to count. Yet it's not about you competing with the biggest and best in the industry. It's about creating content based on your experience and expertise. You're not trying to compete with Tony Robbins or Gary Vee. Well, at least not yet anyway, but you'll find your own tribe of people who gravitate to you and your message, who might not resonate with the big thought leaders or influencers out there. The key difference in all of this is your unique perspective from the experiences that only you can communicate to an audience that's looking for what you have to offer. So instead of spending days or weeks trying to craft a perfect piece of content, think about what makes it unique from your perspective and how you can add yourself to what your audience is already searching for. So now that we've covered why you should be contributing, let's look at a few practical tips that can quickly move you from being a rabid content consumer to a consistent content creator. Number one, decide what you're going to do before you sit down at the computer. Now, too often we sit down at the computer and think, what should I work on? And that can be very dangerous because it usually starts with checking social media or checking your email right off the bat. The trick is to decide what you're going to do before you get to the computer. Keep a simple to-do list with 3 or 4 things you want to accomplish for the day. Then when you approach your computer, immediately jump into that first task without checking social media or emails. And then when you finish that, choose the next item and jump into that. Then after you knock those tasks out, feel free to take your social media break. But save it for when you've earned it, not for the start of your day. Number 2, create and consume on different devices. Now, computers are for creating, not consuming. Go to all your social sites and sign out. Set up your computer so it can only be used to create. Then feel free to use your phone or tablet for consumption. But then it's obvious when you aren't working. One device is used for creating, the other for consuming. Number 3, schedule time for specific tasks. Calendars have a way of filling up with everything urgent, but not necessarily important. So take control of your schedule and reserve time specifically for creating. Go to your calendar and set aside 30 minutes labeled with what you plan to do. And then when you get the notification, you already have that time set aside with a clear plan of what to work on. Number four, know your outcome. Don't just create for the sake of creating. You want to work towards something, whether it's launching a course, reaching 500 YouTube subscribers, writing a book, or promoting a product or service. Have a specific goal in mind that you're making consistent progress on. And number 5, teach what you just learned. Trying to share everything you know can be intimidating, to say the least. So one way to avoid overwhelm is by creating content on something you just learned. Maybe you just figured out a shortcut for editing your website that people would love to know about. Or maybe you've simplified a complicated family recipe. Obviously, your content should be congruent with your area of expertise, but you get the idea. Ask yourself, what did I learn this week that my audience might find useful? If nothing comes to mind for that, you can try thinking, what struggle or obstacle did I overcome this week? That question just might result in a story rather than just a tip, which is often easier for readers to connect with. So those are just a few ways to jumpstart your content creation process. The important thing is to just get started. And remember, the main difference between you and the people you follow is that they're simply creating while you're consuming. And once you flip that switch, you'll be well on your way to driving awareness for your business and brand and attracting your ideal customers, building a network of people you actually enjoy working with. I hope this video brought you some value and gives you a little more confidence in your content creation. Now share some content ideas with me that you've been putting off, and let's get you on the road to becoming a consistent content creator instead of a passive content consumer. And also, if you'd like to learn more about how we can work together, hit me up and let's talk about your project. I'd love to hear what you're working on and see if there's a way I can help. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.